session on 25th March too. Can you start? So, darling, are you ready? We can start. Now let them join and board it for the participants. Most respected guest speaker for the day, Professor Darlene Kluka from USA, who's also the Vice President of XP, Dr. Yuri Schaefer, President of XP, Madam Rosa D'Amico, President passed away, Beatrice Ferreira, ma'am, Vice President passed away, and Claudia, ma'am, all from Mexico, Dr. G. Kishore, who's the principal of Silence CP, Dr. Sanjeev Patel, all my dear PE teachers, a warm welcome to one and all to the special edition of the PE and Community Coaching for Women Teachers. We are very fortunate to have Madam Darlene Kluka with us. Madam is currently Vice President of XP, International Council of Sports Science and Physical Education, and a member of the COSMA Board of Directors. She has served as a charter member of the USA Volleyball Sports Medicine and Performance Commission, Vice President of USA Volleyball, President of the National Association for Girls and Women in Sport, NAGWS USA, as well as the International Association of Physical Education and Sports for Girls and Women, and as a Deputy Delegate to the United States Olympic Committee. Madam has been present with the prestigious XP Philip Noy Baker Research Award, Leader in Volleyball Award, and has been inducted in the American Volleyball Coaches Hall of Fame, National Association for Sport and Physical Education, NASPE, which is now SHAPE Hall of Fame, Commission on Sport Management Accreditation, COSPA Hall of Fame in the Master Professor category, and Illinois State University College of Applied Science and Technology Hall of Fame. She has also been selected distinguished alumnus of the Texas Women's University. Madam has earned 2 doctoral degrees, one in motor learning from Texas Women's University, Texas, USA, and the other in the sport management from the University of Pretoria, South Africa. Madam has had a distinguished career in education for 45 years. After several years at the high school level, she invested substantiated years in the Grambling State University and Barry University, where she retired as the Dean of the School of Human Performance and Leisure Sciences. Madam provides consultation, education, training, research in sport leadership, curriculum design, social change, development, and strategic planning and publications. Her interests include women in sport and governance, as well as visual skills in sport, and has published 3 texts, over 120 juried articles, and presented professional research papers on 5 continents. Indeed, I call Madam as the light of our key program. Indeed, honored and blessed to have such an eminent personality as Darlene Kluka, ma'am. And I always believe ma'am is not only a guest speaker, a mentor, a philosopher, and I look upon ma'am as a great mentor. Has made a key program stronger. So on behalf of the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, now it's Fit India, and the Ministry of Child and Women Development, a warm welcome to the most distinguished speaker, Darlene Kluka, ma'am. Welcome you. I also welcome Professor Rosa D'Amico, who is the President of PASCAWay. A warm welcome to you, ma'am. I welcome the President of XP, Dr. Yuri Schaefer from Israel. Welcome, sir. I also welcome Claudia from Mexico. A warm welcome to you, ma'am. I welcome the Vice President of the PASCAWay, Madam Beatrice Ferreira, to this program. I also welcome Dr. G. Kishore, who's the principal of Silence CP, as well as the regional director of the Southern region. Warm welcome to you, sir. I welcome all my dear PE teachers, my women teachers. I call them as girls, young girls bubbling with full of energy. You should look at the chat box for that. We're very fortunate to have a group of budding, eminent PE teachers. A warm welcome to all my dear PE teachers. I said that you are the true ambassadors and heart and soul of this program. Once again, a warm welcome to each one of you. Over to you, Darlene, ma'am, for your session, please.
Well, I am so delighted to be with all of you for this exciting opportunity for women physical educators and community coaches to be involved at the national level. These folks that you see on the screen are years ago, I knew no one, but through the years, I've managed to become, I think, wonderful colleagues and friends with people from different parts of the world who have the same zest for what we're about to discuss this morning. And there is nothing, in my opinion, that replaces passion and enthusiasm, particularly when times are tough. And when times are tough, like we have in the COVID pandemic, this is when those who lead with their heads and their hearts have the opportunity to continue to prosper. So, Pranesh, if you would be kind enough to put the slide presentation on, that would be really helpful. And
Yes, ma'am,
while
please.
he's doing that,
Yeah.
I want to tell you that all of the different places that you are from, including Qatar and UAE, my goodness, this is really exciting. So let me start out with this by letting you know what the picture is on our left as we look at the screen. I have been really privileged to work for the past 14 years with men and women who are already out in the field in the country of Malawi. And Malawi is located kind of central south in the continent of Africa. And this, I have not gotten a picture like this before. These are 4 women who are generational, intergenerational women in sport in their country. So the little one is already starting to do some swimming. So I don't know if her time will be with swimming or not, but you can see that she has tremendous support to continue to participate. And the young woman that's in the black and red, she comes to us from netball. And if you know anything about netball, the Malawi Queens have been perennial international champions for years. But I also need to let you know that Malawi is economically one of the poorest countries in the world. So it is, again, fully possible to have things happen when there isn't always enough money, but when the spirit is really influential, things can happen. That said, sport has the power to change lives.
Darlin, could I just explain that
Yes,
in Hindi,
ma'am.
the one which you mentioned right now?
Oh, yes. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you, thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
मैडम ये बता रही थी कि आप जो पिक्चर देख रहे हैं यहाँ पर, ये 4 जनरेशन का है। आप देखिए, छोटा बच्चा है, उसकी माँ है, उसकी माँ, ये 4 जनरेशन से पूरे खिलाड़ियों, ये लोग खेल में जो तीनों हैं, नेटबॉल में है, जो अपने कंट्री को आगे आ चुके हैं। मलावी करके जो राज्य है, जो काफी आर्थिक स्थिति उनकी बहुत खराब होते भी थी। आप देख रहे हैं कि ये सारी जो 4, ये बहुत रेयर पिक्चर जहाँ मिलता है कि ये जो 3 लोग हैं और उसका जो बच्चा, ये लोग सारे खेल के द्वारा, खेल में जो ला रहे हैं, और 3 तो ऑलरेडी खेल जगत में है। उसका एक पिक्चर मैडम ने बताया कि मैडम का है कि बालिका दुआरी कैसे एक हम महिलाओं को खेल और शारीरिक द्वारा किस तरह से उनका जो जर्नी, उनका जो सफर है, उसके बारे में मैडम एक्सप्लेन कर रही है। यस मैम, प्लीज।
So the question is it possible for girls to travel the path to women through sport and physical activity?
Do you want them to put that as a question? Answer?
Yes.
अभी देखिए मैडम ने,
is it possible?
Yes. Madam has asked a question, is it possible for girls and women to travel sport के द्वारा जो बालिका है, बेटी, महिला तक पहुंचने के लिए क्या खेल और शारीरिक क्रिया, शारीरिक गतिविधि उसके लिए मदद कर सकती है? जो हम बेटियों को या लड़कियों को, लड़की जब इसके द्वारा महिला बनने के लिए, क्या आप ये इससे सहमत है? हो सकता है? आप यस या नो डालिए चैट बॉक्स में। प्लीज राइट इन द चैट बॉक्स। Please put your answers in this chat box.
Well, as the information is coming in, thank you, Dr. Usha. it appears as though people are saying yes. So I'm glad that my morning, your evening, I'm glad that you are agreeing that yes, it's possible. And so the question will also be later on, is it probable that girls to women through physical activity? All right, so is it probable? So the good news is that we perhaps have the opportunity to influence the possible into the probable. So by teaching women and girls teamwork, self-reliance, resilience, and confidence, sport can, we believe, be one of the drivers of gender equality.
Should I explain this, ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
Sure, please.
अभी मैम probable I'll just give you later. मैम बता रही थी कि एक संभव है क्या? Probable का मैं आपको बाद में बताऊंगी. मैडम ये बता रही थी क्योंकि खेल की जगत में खेल के द्वारा जो बच्चे हैं, बालिकाएं हैं, उनके कॉन्फिडेंस से आत्मविश्वास बढ़ सकता है. और ये इसमें हम जब देखते हैं कि ये सारी एक जो महिला बनती है, तो उसमें उसका जरूर उसका योगदान रहता है. तो इस तरह से खेल किस तरह से हमारी बेटियों पे जो असर करेगा जब वो महिला बनेगी उस जर्नी में, उस यात्रा में, इस तरह से खेल का जो प्रभाव पड़ता है उसके बारे में मैडम चर्चा कर रही थी. जैसे मैंने कहा आत्मविश्वास, कॉन्फिडेंस हुआ, टीम वर्क, एक साथ मिलके जो मिलजुल के जो काम करते हैं उससे बहुत कुछ सीख मिलती है. यस मैम.
Women in sport can change gender stereotypes and social norms, but this will take time. And the idea is to show men and women, and remember I say men and women, that this is possible. In many countries of the world, boys are given precedence when education is available. And this leaves their sisters, as an example. You could leave it on the first one, Pranesh, thank you, or whoever is doing that, as equals. And in many countries of the world, boys, again, are given preference in education. This leaves their sisters somewhat illiterate, unskilled, and trapped in a world without choices. So these are some of the reasons why more attention should be given to girls' education.
मैम ये बता रही थी कि जो लिंग समानता है, हमने कल रोजा मैडम का जो सेशन था, मैडम ने बताया था कि हम जो बोलते हैं लिंग, जेंडर इक्विटी, लिंग समानता किस तरह से होनी चाहिए, खेल के द्वारा हम ये ला सकते हैं. अभी भी देखा गया है पुरुषों और बेटों में कई बार बेटों को ज्यादा प्रोत्साहन देते हैं, उनको पढ़ाई में या हम जो शिक्षा में उनको उनको मौका मिलता है. और वहाँ बेटियां, उनको कई बार बेटियों को पढ़ाया नहीं जाता, बेटे ही पढ़ते हैं. इससे काफी हद तक हम देखते कि उनका जो सही तरह से जो डेवलपमेंट है, सही तरह विकास नहीं हो पाता, ये एक बाधा बन के आ जाती है. अभी भी हम देख रहे हैं कि कई जगह ऐसा है जहाँ शिक्षा हमारी बेटियों को नहीं दे पा रहे हैं, नहीं देते हैं, क्योंकि जो रीति रिवाज चल रही है उसके मुताबिक उसका प्रभाव अभी भी हम देख रहे हैं कई जगह लागू है. यस मैम.
So please remember that those of us in physical education and in sport management and in sports science and all of the other areas, please remember that we are part of a bigger society. That said, we need to support an increase in representation in government.
अभी मैम ये बता रही थी कि हम हमेशा ये पूरी दुनिया को एक समझ के, हम सिर्फ छोटे एक अपने में सीमित ना रख के, हमें दुनिया का एक भाग है करके अगर हम लाए और हम अपना आवाज उठाएं. और ये सिर्फ यहाँ तक नहीं है, हमें अपना जो गवर्नमेंट है वो स्तर पे भी इसको लाना है, जिससे कि ज्यादा महिलाएं उसमें भाग मिलाएं। इसलिए हमारी आवाज, हमें उठ के हमें बोलने का बहुत जरूरत है। हमें स्पीक अप बोलते हैं, हमें हमारी आवाज गवर्नमेंट तक पहुंचनी चाहिए। अगर हम सब चुपचाप बैठेंगे तो वो होगा नहीं। ज्यादा से ज्यादा महिलाओं और बेटियों को इस शारीरिक, क्योंकि हम लोग सब शारीरिक शिक्षा में हमारा जो है बच्चों के साथ ज्यादा संबंध रहता है, इसलिए हम लोग को कोशिश करनी चाहिए जो भी स्टेक होल्डर जिसके साथ हम करके इसको आगे बढ़ाए, ज्यादा से ज्यादा महिला और उनको उसमें शामिल करें। यस मैम।
The World Bank in 2020, and so this is recent information, has found that a girl who completes primary school is 3 times less likely to contract HIV. 3 times less. They've also found from the UN Population Fund that 1/3 of all girls in underdeveloped countries are married before the age of 18. It's also been found that where girls are more likely to be educated, marriage is delayed for 4 years. And increased participation in school sport or related community sport decreases the average amount of children per family from 7 to 3.
You gave too many things because I have to remember that and speak on. You're testing me. So thanks darling. ये मैडम ने अभी ये बताया कि जो वर्ल्ड बैंक 220 में इन्होंने बताया कि जो ज्यादातर देखा गया कि जो बच्चे प्राइमरी स्कूल जिन्होंने शिक्षा प्राप्त किया है प्राइमरी स्कूल में, तो ये बच्चों का HIV होना, क्योंकि इनमें कई सीख मिलती है, वो 1/3 कम होता है। और ये भी बोला गया कि और यूनाइटेड नेशंस जो वहां का जो अनुसंधान हुआ था, उन्होंने उससे बताया कि जो बच्चे जो राज्य ज्यादा आर्थिक स्थिति में नहीं है, ऐसे बच्चों को अगर शिक्षा बेटियों को अगर शिक्षा दी जाए तो देखते कि, क्योंकि कई जगह देखा है शादी 18 साल की उम्र से पहले होती है, लेकिन ये शादी भी 3-4 साल आगे बढ़ा लेती है, क्योंकि जब बेटियां शिक्षित होती है उनको ज्यादा जानकारी मिलती है। और फिर बताया है कि इन्होंने मैम द लास्ट पार्ट वाज व्हाट यू सेड वाज the last para in terms of education. I don't remember.
Yeah, increased participation in school sport or community sport decreases the average amount of children per family from 7 to 3.
अभी ये बताइए कि जिस परिवार में बेटियों ने शिक्षा प्राप्त की है, ऐसे में देखा गया कि आजकल हम देख रहे हैं कई जगह एक घर में, जैसे हम देखते हैं कि बच्चे 7 बच्चे, हम भारत का नहीं बता रहे हैं, कई जगह बच्चे 7 हैं। जो बेटियां शिक्षित हुई है, इनको शिक्षा की वजह से अभी देखते हैं घरों में 7 के बदले वो 3 तक बढ़ गया। तो ये भी, इससे क्या होगा, काफी अच्छा शिक्षा का और शारीरिक शिक्षा में जो ज्यादा शारीरिक शिक्षा में आए हुए हैं उनके लिए ये एक अच्छा सीख है, जिससे कि उनके घर में जो हम बोलते हैं फैमिली नॉर्म्स बच्चों का जो है कम हो गया है। जहाँ 3 हो गए, कई जगह है जो 7 बच्चे थे वहां उनका 3 हो गया, 3 कम हो गया। यस मैम।
Okay, so children, as we all know, are our future. Half the population in the world is female. But if the females, half the population of the world, is held back from reaching their potential, the future is at risk. Access to education is necessary for sustainability and improvement in all societies. In Kluka's opinion, that must be one of the major themes throughout whatever it is that we do in life.
Ma'am, I missed that because I can't see the slide. Could you just repeat,
No worries.
please? Could you just repeat, please? Sorry for bringing it up.
No worries. Half the population is female. But if we hold the half of the world back, from reaching their potential, the future is really bleak.
मैम जस्ट आई स्पीक दिस मच। मैम बता रही थी कि हम अगर देखा जाए कि जो दुनिया का जो आधा प्रतिशत, हम 50% हमें देखते हैं महिला ही हैं या लड़कियां होती हैं, लेकिन अगर हम इन लोगों को सही तरह सुविधा ना दिया जाए, इन लोग को हम अगर पीछे रोक लिया जाए आगे बढ़ने के लिए, तो हम देखेंगे जो दुनिया का जो भविष्य है वो बहुत ज्यादा बहुत अच्छा भविष्य नहीं होगा, क्योंकि हमने उनको सही तरह से सीख नहीं दिया है। इसलिए इनका भविष्य सुनहरा या अच्छा होने के लिए बहुत जरूरी है कि इनको भी आगे बढ़ावा, उनको हर चीज की बढ़ावा देना चाहिए। यस मैम। Yes, ma'am.
If you would go to the next slide, please, and push on the YouTube, I want to share with you something I found recently.
Okay. It's not.
Now, through the wonder of technology, we will make this work. It does have some sound. Here's the question to you all. Yesterday was International Women's Day. So as you watch the step-by-step video here, you will see that this probably is from more North India. Yes, Dr. Usha?
I can't hear you, darling. I just reduce the volume.
Ooh.
Is it okay? You want me to stop it?
No, you can stop it now, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you have the opportunity to
just wait, I'm
view
sorry.
that in better time, so we better stop, otherwise we'll be watching all sorts of things.
I understand. I understand that. I just get in.
No worries.
Okay, I just take it again. I think there's some problem with this. I haven't closed this.
Not a problem. Today we have to have him on
I'm
a
sorry.
short.
This just because of Pranesh is not. He's supposed to be here. Half the time he's not
I
there.
understand. And those of us who are watching, we understand, don't we? The value of technology is wonderful when it works. Right? Otherwise, we have to be quite patient.
Ma'am, is it okay? Do you want me to play? Do you want to have any other?
No, but I think we got the idea that there is a video that is doing something as it relates to girls and women in India and International Women's Day. We'll have a couple of more videos later, but you'll notice, I found it interesting that it was, the background is the International Institute of Sport Management. I thought that was quite interesting. At any rate, if you go to the next slide, please.
Next slide. Yeah, is it okay?
Yeah.
Can you see it? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So the good news is that there is a woman with the surname of Surrender, and she is from Gandhi University. Maybe you know her. So these are the kinds of things that she has found that benefits for girls and women to participate in physical activity and sport in India specifically. This is one of the few research pieces on this topic that I was able to find by Indian researchers. So one of the things that we need to do in terms of Indian scholars is to get them published, you know, because there are many things that people who are citizens of India need to know about Indian women as it relates to participation and leadership in sport. So this is going to be helpful. Well, she says that one of the benefits is contributions to public life and community development. Now, if I were a man and interested in developing community, you better believe that I would show an increased interest in what contributions women and girls can make. Being physically active can serve as stress relief. And in Dr. Usha's area, exercise physiology, we have a room full of information about how physical activity can reduce stress and other things that are detrimental to the body. But the other piece that we must begin to talk about in physical education as girls develop to women is the premenstrual and menstrual cramping and what role physical activity exercise has on that area. We cannot assume that young people, particularly girls, will know what this all means. We cannot assume that. And if the parents in the household are not willing to talk about these issues that happen specifically to women, then we're going to do them an injustice. So the question that you ask yourself is your program, your physical education program, is your program actively participating in these benefits? Okay, I just put down not a yes or a no, but if there is one that you are participating in that Surrender has talked about here on the slide, just put that in the chat.
ओके मैम आई जस्ट से अभी ये सुरेंद्र करके हमारे भारत से ही जिसने लिखा था कि जो महिलाएं और को खेल में भाग लेने से उनमें क्या क्या उनको क्या बेनिफिट मिल सकता है। तो इसमें आप देख रहे हैं कि जो हम बोलते हैं कि आत्मविश्वास हमारी जो स्किल्स हैं, जो हम बोलते हैं जीवन की जो जीवन शैली की जो शिक्षा मिल जाती है, आत्मविश्वास मिलता है और सामाजिक तौर पे हम बहुत अच्छा एक साथ आ पाते हैं और एक मानसिक तौर पे भी हम बोलते हैं कि काफी काफी कुछ हमें मिलता है, आप सब देख रहे हैं। लेकिन इसमें सबसे बड़ी बात ये बता रही थी कि मैडम बता रही थी कि जो कि हम अगर बेटियों को हमें बताएं कि जैसे मासिक हम जो मेंस्ट्रुअल टाइम के मेंसेस के बारे में जो प्रॉब्लम इसके हमें हमें चर्चा करनी चाहिए घर पे माता पिता बच्चों से इसके बारे में चर्चा करना चाहिए। मासिक होने से पहले हम बोलते हैं प्री मेंस्ट्रुअल कई कई मुश्किलें आती हैं, अगर पहले बताया जाए तो वो बच्चे उसके मुताबिक फिजिकल एक्टिविटी में भाग ले सकते हैं और उनको क्या-क्या प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है। सेम इस तरह से कि हम बता सकते हैं कि तुम खेलोगे तो हड्डियों हड्डियों तक किस तरह से उसका जो हमें उस पर प्रभाव पड़ेगा। और ये है कि हम ये लोग अगर एक्टिव रहेंगे, शारीरिक गतिविधि करेंगे तो किस तरह से जो तनाव से राहत मिल सकता है। ये सब चीजें हमें बहुत जरूरी है, जो आपने देखा है कि हम ये कम्युनिटी अरे सामाजिक तौर पे बहुत जरूरी है हमारा ये हमारी जरूरत भी पड़ती है कि हम लोगों में ये समाचार दें, ये फैलाएं कि इसकी शारीरिक गतिविधि में भाग लेने से उसे क्या-क्या हमको फायदा है। यस मैम। और मैडम ने ये बोला अभी जो भी पॉइंट्स आपने देखा यहाँ, आपको लगता है कि आप शारीरिक गतिविधि में या कोई खेल में भाग ले रहे हैं, जिससे आपको इसमें से किसी चीज का फायदा मिला है तो आप चैट बॉक्स में डालिए। Please write in the chat box, participants, that if you have participated in physical activity, you could get any of these benefits which you have seen here. उसका आप जरा chat box में डालिए, please. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and so I'm watching the chat box as we're communicating, and so it seems as though some people are doing things involving higher esteem and pride and looking at teen participation that may help prevent osteoporosis. All right, this doesn't bother us at the age of 12, but it starts to bother us at the age of 62, you see. And so can we help by creating stronger bones, etc., as we go through from girls to women? And the short answer, and Dr. Usha will, I think, agree, is yes, we can, but we must be physically active and participate in order for that to happen. Another piece with this is some of you are putting some information about menses, menstrual cycles, menstrual cramping. How does that relate then to pregnancy and so forth? Because just because we are female does not mean that we cannot continue to be physically active and have really healthy children. You know, babies. This
Yeah.
is, and we found this out.
मैम बता रही थी कि अभी जो बता रहे हैं आप, आपने चैट बॉक्स से काफी अच्छी अच्छी आपने अपना जवाब डाला है, लेकिन इसमें सब बताया कि जैसे हम बोलते हैं जैसे मेनोपॉज जब मेंसेस बंद होता है तब होती ज्यादा ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस, ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस में हड्डी वीक होकर ब्रिटल होके वो टूटना जब शुरू करती है। इसलिए अगर हम बच्चों से अगर फिजिकल एक्टिविटी कराया जाए, ये जब इनकी जीवन की यात्रा जब ये महिला बन जाती है तब तक इसमें काफी इसका असर पड़ जाता है। जो शारीरिक गतिविधि क्या है, उनके हड्डी और कुछ स्ट्रांग हो सकते हैं, सही तरह का कैल्शियम का खाना खाने से वो उनमें ज्यादा अच्छा कर सकते हैं। इसलिए जरूर ये बोला गया है कि बच्चों को हमें प्रोत्साहित करना चाहिए कि बच्चे बेटियां फिजिकल एक्टिविटी करें, क्योंकि एक और जिससे कि वो जब तक महिला के उम्र तक आगे भी बढ़ेगी तो वो उसके लिए प्रोटेक्शन देगी, उसका एक्चुअली उसको उसकी सहायता करेगी। और दूसरा बात ये बोला कि क्योंकि हम लोग महिलाएं हैं, इसका ये मतलब नहीं कि महिला है तो हमारे में कुछ बाधा है, हम आगे कुछ कर नहीं सकते हैं, हम सब कुछ में भाग ले सकते हैं। महिला में हमें कोई भी फिजियोलॉजी हमारे पास कुछ भी, जैसे हम बोलते हैं मेंस्ट्रुअल साइकिल होता है, उस समय कई कई मुश्किलें हो सकती है, वो मुश्किल नहीं है, वो हमारा एक फिजियोलॉजी का भाग है। इसलिए हमें जरूर उसको लेके हमें आगे शारीरिक गतिविधि में हमें भाग लेना चाहिए। यस मैम।
I'm trying to watch the chat box, and there are two things that I found interesting, but please forgive me because the chats go very, very quickly as I'm being able to watch this, and I can't read that fast. So one of them has to do with hygiene. So whoever added that to this, obviously, this is something that is very, very important. The hygiene, particularly in the area between the legs, is very important. And so in physical education and healthy exercising and healthy activity, we need to take that in consideration and make sure that that area specifically is nice and clean. Right? And again, as young women or young girls go through their lives, someone may tell them and someone may not. And so we have to focus on that. And if everybody knows what to do, that's fine, we go on. But we don't want to leave that out just in case there's some people who want to or need to learn that piece. Someone also mentioned, and
I just explain this.
Sure.
मैंने बता रही थी कि चैट बॉक्स में किसी ने डाला कि अभी स्वच्छता के बारे में डाला है, स्पेशली मेंस्ट्रुअल टाइम पे। ये बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट मैडम ने नोट किया, बहुत अच्छा लगा। पता नहीं नाम पढ़ नहीं पाई मैडम, लेकिन स्वच्छता स्पेशली जैसे जब मासिक समय आती है तो बच्चों में ये देना पड़ती है कैसे स्वच्छता रखनी है। और हम कई बार हमें शर्म आती है कि हमें ये सब चर्चा नहीं होनी चाहिए, लेकिन जरूर इसके बारे में चर्चा देना है। और हमें स्वच्छता के साथ साथ स्वस्थ होने के लिए किस तरह से ये मासिक समय में हमें स्वच्छता पे ध्यान दें कि किस चीज का वो, हम लोग शारीरिक शिक्षा के अध्यापक होते हुए बहुत जरूरी है कि हम ऐसी जानकारी भी बच्चों को दें। कई बार माता होती है वो सही तरह दे नहीं पाते, लेकिन हमारा भी ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बनता है कि हम बच्चों को सही तरह से सही रास्ता दिखाए, सही तरह से उनको जानकारी दें। यस मैम, नेक्स्ट प्लीज मैम।
So thank you. Someone also mentioned nutrition. Please remember that, again, nobody will help us to learn about nutrition unless we get it somewhere in the schools. So if there is a gap, then maybe part of what we must be about in physical education is to talk about nutrition and physical activity. And maybe just a few minutes every day, we talk about that as it relates to that day's lesson or that day's activity. The same thing holds true for community coaches. It's a good idea to talk about nutrition. If the body doesn't have enough energy through what we're eating, then clearly we're not going to have as good participation and attention and all of those things. The learning and the living can be affected. So nutrition may be a gap, Dr. Usha, that people can benefit from as teachers and coaches. The other one that I thought was interesting was taboo. I truly understand this. On the other hand, if the family is having difficulty with this topic, then maybe one of the solutions is to have an extra class where the young girls come and the mothers come to talk about those issues that are terribly important as girls go to women. And through physical activity and exercise, perhaps there are some linkages that can be made. And if that works, which in some cases they have had great success with that, then they have perhaps the whole family, meaning daughter or daughters, father and mother, come again to sessions where these kinds of topics can be talked about in a safe place. This is not an easy thing to tackle, but if we don't do it, who will? Okay, that's what we have to ask ourselves always. If we in physical education and community coaching don't talk about or create a safe environment to talk about those issues that are important to girls and women, then who will?
यस
Okay.
मैम
The next
मैम
slide,
प्लीज कमिट
please.
मी मैम ने बहुत
Yes,
अच्छा बोला
ma'am.
कि आप चैट बॉक्स में जो आए उसके बेसिस पे मैंने बताई है कि एक किसी ने लिखा पोषण के बारे में लिखा है। हम न्यूट्रिशन बोलते हैं, पोषण पोषण के बारे में जानकारी बच्चों को देना बहुत जरूरी है। और हम देखते हैं शारीरिक शिक्षा में हम लोग पोषण के बारे में सीखते हैं और इसकी जानकारी बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि कौन सी सही पोषण है जिससे सही ऊर्जा मिलती है। हम लोग खाते हैं उसके बारे में आप लोगों को एक्स्ट्रा क्लास दिया जाता है, तो हमें कक्षा में बच्चों से रोज कम से कम 2 मिनट या 3 मिनट ऐसे चीजों के बारे में जानकारी देनी चाहिए पोषण का, जिससे कि बच्चों का स्वस्थ और सेहत काफी अच्छा रहे, क्योंकि उनको बताना है कि आप जो खा रहे हैं उससे आपको जो ऊर्जा मिल रही है, तो सही तरह की पोषण होनी चाहिए। दूसरी किसी ने बोला जो टैबू माने निषेध, क्योंकि कई बार हम बोलते हैं कि हमें ऐसे मासिक के ऐसा बातें नहीं करनी चाहिए, क्योंकि हमें लगता है कि हमारा रीति रिवाज के मुताबिक सही नहीं है। तो अगर ऐसा आपको लगता है कि कई बार माता भी अपनी बेटियों से नहीं चर्चा कर पाती है, कक्षा में हमें स्कूल में हो सके तो हमें ऐसे केस में बच्चों से रोज जब भी हम मिलते हैं 1 या 2 मिनट बच्चों से हम अपनी बेटियों जैसा बेटी बोलते हैं सारे जो है उनसे हमें बात करें, उनसे बोले देखिए ये मासिक है, इसमें क्या-क्या प्रॉब्लम है। लेकिन ये जो निषेध करना ये बिल्कुल गलत है, क्योंकि हमारे समाज में कई बार बोलती है ये चीजें सही नहीं है। तो मैं ये नहीं बोल रही समाज की हमें अगेंस्ट आना है, लेकिन मैडम बता रही थी कि इसके सबसे अच्छा तरीका एक और है कि घर के बदले अगर आप बेटी और उसकी माँ को अगर बुलाए, उनके साथ आपने अगर उनसे कुछ जानकारी दी, उसके बाद आप देखेंगे आपको लगता है कि ये काफ़ी सफलता प्राप्त हुई है। और सबसे बड़ी ये है कि हम जो भी करें उनको उनके लिए सुरक्षित जगह, सेफ्टी सबसे ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि आजकल देखते हैं सेफ्टी कम होने की वज़ह से बहुत सारी समस्याएँ, बाधाएँ खड़ी होती हैं। इस तरह से हमें एक सुरक्षित जगह हमें मालूम करना है। अगर ये सफलता प्राप्त हो गई, तो अगर आप उसके बाद आप बेटा और पिताजी, जैसे माँ और बेटी को बुलाएँ, उसके बाद पिताजी बेटा और उसका पिताजी को बुलाएंगे। तो आप देखिए कई जगह इन्होंने ऐसा एक कार्यक्रम चलाया है जिससे कि हम सिर्फ शारीरिक गतिविधि नहीं करा रहे हैं, साथ साथ जो चाहिए, जो उनको जीवन शैली में, जो उनको जिंदगी सही तरह जीने की जो जानकारी है वो हम दे पाए। Yes, ma'am.
I'm again watching the chat. I'm so happy that you've begun to sort of talk to one another through the chat. This is fantastic. There are some of you who have a genuine concern about nutrition. There are others about hygiene. There are others wondering when should you begin to discuss these kinds of things with boys and girls. What the literature in more developed countries have found is that if you can begin with the girls speaking about it and the boys then speaking about it separately, and then bringing them together once they have a base of understanding, there has been many positive things that occur from that. I would love to see what would happen in India, depending upon the approach, because obviously this is cultural, religious, etc. But at the same time, if we don't have the baseline information on your country, then it's difficult to find strategies that will work, because we want to do this on evidence-based and science-based. If you would be kind enough to go to the next one. This one I thought would be rather interesting, and you may need to get a little closer to your computer screen, but I think you'll get this. I took a look at life skills in physical education that came out of the Department of Education from South Africa just this last year. And I took a look at what the World Economic Forum has for skills that they will see in the year 2025. So even though this is a larger look at things, we want to see how can we as physical educators and community coaches help young women and young girls to participate in having skill sets that will work for them in the future. So we'll just look very briefly at the ones that have lines to them. I did the best I could to try to get these things correlated or related. So we'll see how this works for you. In terms of decision making, we should, in every class we offer or in every session we offer at the community level, there should be some decision making happening for young girls and or women in whatever it is that they're doing, because that helps to advance analytical thinking and innovation. Okay, and that's again the World Economic Forum skills on what should people have to be successful by 2025. If we look at another one that is interpersonal skills, they are genuinely thinking about, could we back that up just for a moment?
Can you see it?
Not quite yet, but
Pradesh. Now just a minute, please. She can't see it. Can you put it properly?
There we go.
Can you show the slide? This slide. I only checked it.
Okay, it's oops.
Slide. Now can you see, please?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Let's take a look at interpersonal skills. All right, empathy and compassion. Me coming from the outside, any person from India who I have ever met appears to have wonderful empathy and compassion skills. That has to do with leadership and social influence. And so, even though we are going to hugely high tech in the near future with artificial intelligence, we will not believe what this stuff will do. Critical thinking, analysis, and interpersonal empathy and compassion will be skill sets that are critical for girls and boys, but girls to women and the workplace. All right. Gurwinder talks about critical thinking is most important. All right. What I would like to believe is that the top skills for 2025 are perhaps done in order of priority, but it was never said. So half of us in the world, this is so awesome, half of us in the world will need to reskill in the next 5 years. Can you imagine? So what we're teaching and what they're learning in primary and secondary schools, high schools, is critical right now. Whether we have a pandemic or not, it's still important. According to the Future of Jobs report for the Economic Forum, we are going to need these at a pace of change and direction of travel that becomes terribly important. We must go forward on these and still retain values. What a challenge.
Yeah,
If you go to the next one, please.
sure. Ranish. It's not moving. Yes, please. Ma'am, can you see?
All right, thank you. We want to be sure as we go about teaching and learning, and as we go about getting people to see, there's a glass of water and it's got this much water and a glass is that high. And so it's either half full or half empty. I believe, looking at the World Economic Forum and other factors, that we need to be sure that humanity all over the world is looking for the glass to be half full, for possibilities, not for everything is wrong, nothing is right, we will never go forward, the old ways were better. It's not going to be like that anymore in Kluka's view. So
just a minute, I'll just speak this because I'm unable to pick up everything. मैं बता रही थी कि अब अगर एक ग्लास लिया, उसके अंदर आधा आधा पानी डाला, तो आप उसको बोलेंगे कि आधा ग्लास खाली है कि आधा भरा है. तो हम बोलते हैं हमेशा हमें ऐसा सोच के जाना चाहिए कि आधा जो हमारा भरा है. जब भरा होता है तो हमें सकारात्मक विचार होती है, तो इसलिए हमें हमेशा पॉजिटिव सकारात्मक ही सोचनी चाहिए. कभी भी हमें नेगेटिव करके नहीं सोचना चाहिए, क्योंकि हमें आगे बढ़ना है. बदलाव होगा, हम ये नहीं सोचेंगे हमने जो सीखा उसी के मुताबिक चलेंगे. हमें समय के साथ बदलना है और हमें ये देखना है किस तरह से जो नई सीख हमको कौशल जो मिल रही है वो सब लेके लागू करके बदलते हुए सोच के साथ हमें बदल के हमें आगे बढ़ना है. Yes, ma'am.
All right, so all of us need to understand and communicate physical activity. That's the definition, exercise, and physical education. I want you to notice that the physical education part, the first thing it says is that it's an academic subject. So if in your school you believe, but based on evidence, that physical education is not seen as an academic subject, then that's a piece that must be worked on. By having plans that are sequential, that involve all of these things that we've been talking about, whether it's nutrition, hygiene, changing minds, that this whatever the topic is no longer seen as taboo. All of those things are areas that can be built into the curriculum and the instruction through physical education. But look at some of these words: fair play. All right. And fair play is the old sportsmanship. All right. So, what's in a word? We have to change our language a little. Self efficacy. Do you believe in yourself that you can improve? You can be better every day, a little better. And emotional intelligence. These are highly important, that are not the sole reasons that we get better, but physical education is part of the academic subjects that then make us whole and better. All right, see if you would go to the next one, please.
1 minute, I'll just मैडम ये बता रही थी कि हम जो शारीरिक शिक्षा का बताते हैं, हमें ये देखना है कि हमारे जो विद्यालय में क्या ये एक एकेडमिक सब्जेक्ट के तौर पर पढ़ाया जाता है। ये बहुत जरूरी, क्योंकि अब ये शेप जो मैडम बता रही थी, जिसमें मैडम हॉल ऑफ फेम में भी है, शेप ने इसको एक एकेडमिक सब्जेक्ट का रूप दिया। नए एजुकेशन पॉलिसी के मुताबिक एकेडमिक सब्जेक्ट बनना चाहिए, इसमें प्लान है सही तरीके से क्वेश्चन, हम जो बोलते हैं जो करिकुलम है वो करिकुलम होनी चाहिए, इंस्ट्रक्शन देना चाहिए, साथ ही हमको सही तरह ज्ञान, हमारी जो उसमें व्यवहार है, और जो हम फेयर प्ले की बात करते हैं, उसके अलावा आत्म प्रभावकारिता के बारे में बात करते हैं, ये सारा उसमें शामिल है। तो हमें जरा सोचना क्या हमारा अभी ये एकेडमिक सब्जेक्ट क्या हो पाया, हम लोगों ने कंपल्सरी करके बोल दिया, लेकिन क्या ये हो पाया? अगर ऐसे तो इसको हमें उठाना जरूरी है। यस मैम।
I'm just noticing that there's a question on, so the student may not be interested to do better in physical education. Have you asked that person, what will it take to be better? What will it take? Ask the young person, especially in our case, girls. So I put this together based on many things that I've, maybe some things I've learned and some things I've thought about. So the question for all of us is, where are we now? Where are you now in your school in terms of girls' physical activity? And where would you like to be? All right, we need to know, where are we now and where is it that we would like to be? Another piece, what do the girls want? When students feel that they have been listened to, this is globally, can you imagine? So it must be a characteristic of people. Their motivation increases. And for this young lady that doesn't perhaps want to participate, maybe she needs to have some interest in something to be physically active. Girls may respond more positively to all aspects of physical education if they feel they've been part of the process to decide what do they get to be involved in. And that doesn't mean that for every lesson they're going to decide what happens. Oh no. But you give them opportunities throughout the year or throughout the time period to make some decisions about what they will participate in. And it could be, if you have them, let's say 3 times per week, that maybe on Fridays, you give them a choice on what to participate in, with certain understandings, like we've got to have our heart rates up, we've got to do this, we've got to do that, and make a decision about what it is that we will do for that day. In terms of school curriculum and ethos, creating the right physical and cultural environment where activity is seen as an integral part of school life can help girls want to become more active. If girls and boys, but particularly girls, you start with us first and then we will spread it along, how girls will want to become more active. What's that going to take for the school itself? And it may be that instead of using lifts, you use stairs. Instead of sitting at your desk the whole time, you get up and every so often you walk around. There are all sorts of small ways that things can become different. For the school, I'm sorry, for bringing out the best in girls, as well as considering the culture in which the girls' physical activity takes place, it's crucial to ensure that the provision is tailored to meet their wants and their needs. Okay, so if you never ask them, what is it that they want? And more importantly, what is it that they need? And what is it that they want? Then you're not helping them to go from girls to women. Creating extracurricular opportunities. That has to do
Alan,
with.
I'll say I think too many points. I don't know if I can remember all those. Can I just speak?
Sure.
Okay.
No worries.
I understand. मैम ये बता रही थी कि हम जब ये इसमें हम लोग कैसे सफलता प्राप्त कर सकते हैं, तो सबसे हमें बताने की पहले अभी हम कहाँ है माने जो हम शारीरिक गतिविधि शारीरिक शिक्षा में हमारी बेटियां अभी तक हम अगर असेस करें वो किस पोजीशन में कहाँ है, हमारे बच्चे क्या चाहते हैं, क्या हमारे करिकुलम में हमारी बेटी लड़कियों के लिए भी जो भी विषय है उसमें हम ये सब दे पाते हैं, हमारी जो शारीरिक गतिविधि देने के लिए है। और सबसे बड़ी बात है जब भी हम फैसला लेते हैं, जो निर्णय लेते हैं, जो प्रोग्राम कार्यक्रम बनाने में जरूर इन लड़कियों को भी शामिल करना चाहिए, क्योंकि उससे हमें मालूम पड़ेगा उनकी जरूरतें क्या है, उनकी जरूरत के मुताबिक वो क्या चाहते हैं, उसके मुताबिक अगर आपने कार्यक्रम तैयार किया तो जरूर हमारी बेटियां उसमें शामिल होंगी। इसलिए हमें इस तरह से बदलाव ला के अगर हम करेंगे तभी हम देखें सब लड़कियों को भी अगर शामिल करें तो हम देखेंगे उनकी जरूरत के मुताबिक जब करेंगे तो हमारा जो कार्यक्रम है ज्यादा सफल होगा। नहीं तो हम बोलने के लिए करते हैं लेकिन हम क्या एक बदलाव ला सकते हैं, हम अपने बच्चों को हमारी बेटियों को शामिल कर सकते हैं, उसकी मैडम अभी बता रही थी। यस मैम प्लीज।
Also, by creating extracurricular opportunities, that means things that are not in the physical education class. This helps girls to understand that being active is not just for physical education. There's a wealth of opportunity in our daily lives to connect the two. And please remember that it takes a long time for the light bulb, aha, to go on. And sometimes, especially at the younger levels, we need to make the link for them and then continue to ask as they age, what does this mean for that? How do you see this? What do you think? And promoting opportunities outside the school, which are community coaches. Maybe the school itself can develop a whole school approach in exploring what can happen in the community, and specifically for physical activity, but by having a whole school approach, it could be that you're going to wind up giving the math teacher and the chemistry teacher at the high school level opportunities that they had never thought about to create the linkage with the community. Parents are also so terribly important when we're trying to get girls and young women to be able to enjoy participating in sport and physical activity. The use of female role models. Everybody needs somebody to look up to. and experiences we have at school and by teachers will make a difference. We've seen it over and over. We've actually now begun to do some good research on getting evidence that that works. And so how can we get people who are teachers and community coaches to become influential in memory making on the good side that we carry throughout our lives? I'll bet each of you can think of at least one teacher or community coach in physical education who was made an influential memory that you still now can think about. That's amazing.
Can I speak for it, darling?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. मैं भी बता रही थी कि हमें जो है हमारे जो पाठ्यक्रम में हम कक्षा के बाहर भी हम उसको एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर में काफी हमें सुविधाएं उनको मौका देना चाहिए। और इसके लिए हम ऐसा कर सकते हैं, बच्चों को अगर कक्षा के टाइम पे वक्त नहीं है, हम कक्षा स्कूल के बाद जो समय है उसमें हम अगर ले पूरे स्कूल को एक साथ शामिल करें, हम देख सकते हैं बदलाव आ सकता है। इसके अलावा हमें बहुत जरूरी है कि हमें रोल मॉडल्स जो बोलते हैं, प्रेरणा स्रोत, अगर हम देखें कोई खिलाड़ी या कोई भी हो, आप क्योंकि हमने हर जगह देखा गया है कि बच्चे हैं वो किसी भी रोल मॉडल की तरफ देखते हैं तो जिससे उनको प्रेरणा मिलती है, बोलते हैं हम ऐसा बनना चाहते हैं। इस तरह से अगर फिजिकल एजुकेशन टीचर्स अपना अपना करें तो जरूर उसका हम देखेंगे कि हमारे बच्चे उस टीचर की जैसा बनने की खूब कोशिश करते हैं। इस तरह से अगर हम कार्यक्रम चलाएं तो हम देखेंगे कि हमारी बेटियां जो है, जो लड़कियां हैं जो खेल में भाग नहीं ले पा रही हैं, वो सब खेल में भाग लेना शुरू करेंगे। Yes, ma'am.
And the last piece that I want to add to this is maybe it's also possible, once you get the other things going on for success, that you can actually create through those who are interested in the schools, the students, the girls, in creating fitness ambassadors. And maybe what they wind up doing is in their little area where they live, they create an opportunity for older people who are out of school to not only understand that fitness is important, but also maybe create little sessions for them to come and participate. That would really be an amazing thing, because now the younger ones are helping the older ones. And what a wonderful sense of intergenerational community. Dr. Usha, you want to do that one? And then just say something.
Yeah. I'd say yeah, मैम बता दी कि ना हमें जैसे हमारे खेलो इंडिया में भी है, हमें फिटनेस एम्बेसडर्स होने चाहिए। आप जब स्कूल में पढ़ाते हैं आपको देखते हैं कई बच्चे थोड़ा इसमें अच्छा कर रहे हैं, उनका अगर एम्बेसडर जो है, जो फिटनेस के अगर एम्बेसडर बना दिया जाए तो वो जहाँ वापस अपने घर जाते हैं तो उनके जो आस पड़ोस में वो लोग खुद अपना सेशन तैयार कर सकते हैं। हम देख रहे हैं आजकल जो छोटे छोटे बच्चे हैं जो है एडोलसेंस है, वो लोग कुछ प्रोजेक्ट लेते हैं, आस पड़ोस में लोगों से करवाते हैं। इससे क्या होगा, पहले मैडम बोलती कि बच्चे से बड़े सीख लेते हैं। हमारे माता पिता होंगे नहीं तो आस पड़ोस के लोगों के बच्चे उनको सही बता सकते हैं कि फिटनेस का क्या जरूरत है। तो इस तरह से हम लोग ये फिट इंडिया के लिए भी हम काफी अच्छी तरह से जा सकते हैं। फिटनेस एम्बेसडर हम स्कूल में ही हम उसको अगर नियुक्त किया जाए तो इसमें बच्चे भी प्रोत्साहित होंगे और साथ ही समाज को भी लाभ होगा। यस मैम।
The last piece, very last piece here is we have to remember that we need to monitor and evaluate all these great things that are going on. So it's as you plan for this success, going from where are you now to monitoring and evaluation, you can see that there will be hopefully some success from where are you now to where would you like to be to did you get there.
तो इसमें ये मैम बता दी कि हमें ये सिर्फ हमने किया, इसमें ये हम सिर्फ अगर बोले प्लान किए हमने ये काम किया कैसे नहीं चलेगा, हमें इसका जो है निगरानी भी करनी पड़ेगी, इसमें आप असेसमेंट भी करना पड़ेगा कि आखिर में आपने शुरू कहाँ से तो कहाँ तक पहुंचे, बच्चे क्या क्या कर पाए, क्या बदलाव लाया गया, ये सारी बहुत जरूरी है कि हम अगर कोई भी कार्यक्रम उसका अकाउंटेबिलिटी माने, उसकी जो निगरानी करके उसको लिखित रूप में अगर लाया जाए तभी उसका सफल होगा, क्योंकि तभी डॉक्यूमेंटेशन होगी। तो आप जो इतने सारे जो टीचर्स हैं, आप सबसे निवेदन है कि आप भी कोशिश कीजिएगा आपके स्कूल में अगर ऐसे लाए, हम जरूर आपकी स्कूल एक मॉडल बन जाएगी हमारे भारत वर्ष में। ये सिर्फ भारतवर्ष के लिए नहीं होगा, आप देखेंगे अंतरराष्ट्रीय स्तर पे भी आपको आप एक सीख दे सकते हैं। यस मैम।
Would you please go to the next slide?
Pranish. I'm sorry because it's Pranish who's been doing this. This is not good.
No worries.
Which one? Next.
There we go. Thank you. All right. So what does physical education do for growth and development throughout the lifespan? You know, physical education is only within the schools. Then it turns into physical activity. So we're assuming that the people will have some skills, basic skills, that they can continue on with. So I just wanted to mention that the things that are here on this slide are possibilities, but not necessarily probable. Okay, because we have to plan for probable. So with health and fitness, look at that: nutrition, fitness for health, fitness for skilled movement, because some of the young ladies will want to participate because opportunities to become professional athletes they're there. They're already there in some sports. But many people just want to participate to keep their health going, at their good health going, I should say. So how do we go about getting these kinds of things to happen? Again, we must plan for them. They will not happen by themselves. We don't want to take that chance. So we want to cultivate well-rounded, intelligent, and socially aware people. We also want to mold people into good global citizens. Now, this one, Kluka's opinion, in some ways, I'm glad I'm this old, but in other ways, I wish I were only 15, because I want to participate in a global citizenship. Oh, wouldn't that be fantastic? With a sense of responsibility for their actions, because someone mentioned in the chat the idea of, well, where do they learn self discipline? Where do they learn responsibility for their actions? Well, how is physical education in the schools happening with this? Yeah, how is that going? Promote the development of leaders. You have so many opportunities to give youngsters, particularly girls, leadership opportunities, even if it is saying to one of the more shy girls, come up to the front and help us be the model for doing jumping jacks or whatever it happens to be. By giving her that opportunity, and she's successful, and the other ones clap for her at the end, because that took courage to come up there, it will slowly but surely provide opportunities that will be rewarding for her in leadership, but also in terms of physical participation. Do not underestimate what it is that you can do just this much. Because if you do just that much every day and things improve day by day, it will be worth going from a girl to a woman. And the last piece on this one, empower people with the necessary skills and abilities to play a full and inclusive role within society. That's what we're about. We're part of the answer for a complete human being, but we're not the only answer.
Could you explain? You're the same slide, am I right, ma'am? शारीरिक शिक्षा हमारी जो है वो किस तरह से एक हमारे पूरी जो जीवन शैली में हमारे विकास में भी मदद करती है। हम देखते हैं कि शारीरिक शिक्षा के द्वारा काफी स्किल्स हम सीख पाते हैं, हमारी जो आत्मविश्वास बढ़ जाता है। लेकिन इसके साथ मैडम ये जरूर बोलिए कि संभावना और संभावित ये दोनों बहुत जरूरी है मालूम करना, क्योंकि इसमें हम अगर सही तरह अवसर बच्चों को, बेटियों को, लड़कियों को प्रदान करें और उनको निर्णय लेने में शामिल करें, हम देखेंगे वो उनको सकारात्मक जो है अनुभव होगा, जिसकी वजह से वो जरूर इसमें भाग लेंगे। उनको पता है मानसिक तौर पे और शारीरिक तौर पे उन पे काफी बदलाव आ सकता है और इसके लिए वो काफी प्रोत्साहित होते हैं। लेकिन मैडम ये बता रही थी कि इसमें जो है हमें पूरा जो 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 ग्लोबल है, दुनिया का जो नागरिकता को देख के हम हमारी शारीरिक शिक्षा के द्वारा हमें ये देखना है कि हमारी जो बेटियां हैं वो किस तरह से एक सही दुनिया का एक नागरिकता बन सकती है। तो ये सारी सीख हम शारीरिक शिक्षा के द्वारा देते हैं। देखिए पहले होता है शारीरिक शिक्षा, लेकिन वो शारीरिक गतिविधि के द्वारा और जो उससे जो सीख मिलती है, इससे हम सही तरह से एक तो दुनिया का जो नागरिकता हमारी बेटियों में हम उनको बना सकते हैं। यस मैम।
Dr. Usha, we're running a little short on time.
Maybe you can go with faster. No, I won't translate this. Maybe you can go ahead. So that I'll speak it later.
All right, no worries. Let's go to the next slide, please. And I wanted to share this one with you just to give you the whole look on components of physical education, regardless if it's boys or girls or whatever, but so that you can see that it is terribly important to have solid policies that support what it is that you're going to do. And Dr. Usha and I have talked before, and our other speakers have recognized that sometimes this is not an easy thing to do with policy. And that's why I believe it's important for all of us to belong to other organizations that if we need outside support for something, we can bring others in to say, in a sense, get with it. Come on. We need to do this. That's what's happening worldwide now because of media and social media, etc. So we need to use it to our advantage. All right, and so you can see the rest of them. I talk about here on the slide from SHAPE America, appropriate instruction. You do not know what you do not know. So it's your job as a professional teacher and community coach to know of which you speak. That means you must be, Kluka's opinion, a lifelong learner. You must be. We're going to go to the next one, Dr.
Next, please.
Usha.
Yeah, we will now push off. I'll take it last to the All
right. So there are some, what did I do? Or maybe what did you do? I don't know.
Is this okay? Is this okay? Slide.
No. We need to come back to the slide.
Is
I've
this
got
okay?
a big chat.
I need to change it?
I think so.
The previous
I'm
is
not
this.
Sure.
No, the previous is this. The next is this.
Oh dear.
Empowerment activities.
Okay, there we go. All right. So what I did was on some of these slides, just as examples, I put some activities that might be of interest for empowerment, if that is one of the goals of the lesson or of the session. So it is much more fun to participate in things than it is to just sit and listen or not, because I can sit, but I may not listen. And so this gives you a reason, this slide gives you reasons for why it's a good idea to have fun while you're learning. All right. And even if something is difficult, you can still have fun in the learning instead of headaches. Okay. All right. If we go to the next one. All right. This is an example. So you would get people or girls into groups of 10, and you form a circle with each group. Then each person takes the hand of another person, right? And you have to be, someone has to be not standing next to you. So even if I have Dr. Usha over here and Dr. And Pranesh over here, I cannot take their hands. I must go and take someone else's hands, all right? So when you get it finished, you're going to look like a knot, okay? Your job as a group is to work together to untangle the knot without letting go of hands. Woo! This will create lots of opportunities for people to work together, people to think ahead, people to be empowered to figure out, how do we do this? Maybe a leader will be developed. So you can see that from this activity, physical activity, there's a lot more that's being learned. But when you finish the game, make sure that you ask them, what what about this? What did you learn here? What was this about? Ask them to provide what did they learn. And if they cannot say that, then help them, and then they'll get the idea.
Darling, I'll just explain this to them just a minute. It was a very interesting game. मैं बता रही थी कि हम कह रहे हैं सशक्तिकरण कराने के लिए हम बच्चों को खेल के द्वारा क्या कर सकते हैं। तो मैंने बोला हम 10 बच्चों का एक साथ 10 बच्चों को लिए हमने 10 बच्चों को लेके एक सर्कल में खड़े हो जाएं, और हमें बच्चों को बोलना है कि आपको आपको अपना किसी एक का हाथ, यानी दोनों हाथ में हाथ पकड़ना है, लेकिन आपके जो निकट खड़े हैं सर्कल में उनका नहीं दे सकते, आप किसी और का हाथ पकड़ना है। इस तरह से जो भी सर्कल में सारे लोग हाथ पकड़े हुए थे, लेकिन वो लोग अपने पास जो खड़े उनका हाथ नहीं पकड़ सकते। इसके बाद आप इनको बोलेंगे, अभी देखिए आपने एक जो गांठ टाइप का बांध दिया है, हम बोलते हैं मानव गांठ है, इसको आपको अभी गांठ को अभी खोलना है, वापस आपको आना है, लेकिन उसमें अगर आप हाथ नहीं छोड़ सकते, आपको सब मिलके करना है। तो इसमें काफी सीख होती है। तो आप उनको बोलिए आपको कैसा महसूस हुआ, आपने इसको कैसा किया। ये जरूरी है कि हम इन बच्चों से प्रश्न पूछे कि आपको कैसा लगा, किस तरह से क्या किया, आपको लगता है कि हमें कैसा करना चाहिए, लेकिन इसमें कि हाथ छोड़ना नहीं। तो ये बहुत अच्छी सीख है, जहाँ बच्चों का सहयोग एक दूसरे से आएंगे, तो इससे काफी सीख मिल सकती है सशक्तिकरण के लिए। यस मैम।
And Dr. Usha, if you go to the next one. All right, what I've done, and again, because we don't really have enough time, but Dr. Usha will share these slides with you, right? Yes?
Very interesting games.
Yeah.
Next time when you come, you're going to make them play this. You're going to have this. You're going to have the scavenger hunt, build a tower. That's great.
Okay, so there are several different things there. So let me talk a little bit very quickly about these kinds of activities and lessons that we've learned from doing these kinds of things around the world. And if you look at the bottom of the slide there, you'll see that we looked in Kenya and in my area of the world, New Orleans, India, all right, slum soccer, Kenya again, and in Belfast, Ireland, that talk with the girls about the kind of physical activity that they want in programs in community coaching. Okay. try to find some financial support so that they can become either certified community coaches and officials. So maybe I love volleyball, so I want to be a volleyball player. I want to be a volleyball coach. I want to be a volleyball official because I love everything volleyball. And it may be that I can find some income to help keep them involved. That's not a guarantee, but once they get hooked on being excited about things, then perhaps this can be a way to supplement their pay. Um, Create a positive cycle of women who coaches who encourage girls to join programs, and then later on they become coaches. So it goes in kind of a cycle that is positive. All right, because it's not that we don't want to empower or assist boys and men, but if we don't help each other, then maybe who will? Or it may take longer. Okay? And you know that in this day and age, all of us want to feel as though we've made a positive difference in our communities. The last one, it may be easier for teachers to achieve safe spaces, especially for adolescent girls, by having girl only classes as well as girl only community teams. Okay, you want to go to the next one, please? All right, just in case you need to have some background information and you have nothing better to do than to read all of these successes, I've read them, but I cannot remember all of them. But look at this, started in 1948 with the UN's Declaration on Human Rights. Now, where were the girls and the women? Okay, it goes down. And I wanted to say to you, this is so exciting. If we are financially with nothing, in 2021, later on, and I'm sure that Prof. Rosa will talk about this if she hasn't already, Episcopate is going to have a World Congress. It's going to be a hybrid Congress so that it will be held in China, Shenzhen. It'll physically be held there, but there will be opportunities for us to do like we're doing now. So they will charge us a little money because you have to be able to make things work. So that will happen later in this year. And then in 2022, the IWG will have an international conference, again, hybrid. So it will be in New Zealand. However, guess what? You can also be involved in this way. Please think about this. And Dr. Usha, I'm going to ask you to be the #1 cheerleader. There could be, for both of these, wonderful programs that are already occurring in Indian schools and communities involving girls and women in sport, but nobody knows about them. So submit proposals to present this information to the world, because until we put the information out there for people to appreciate, nothing will happen. Nothing. And it's a great time to do this, in Kluka's opinion. So again, women's success is human success. Human success, right, can be women's success, but it doesn't have to be. So we have to push to let people know that women's success, we're half of the world, for heaven's sakes. We're half of the world. That means half of the world is not fully developed. Good heavens. Okay. Anyway, next one, please. Okay, push the button. We're going to have a short video. I got 2 short videos if there is time.
Yeah, we'll have the video. So maybe our participants could see something too.
Okay, can you, there we go. Okay, and if it, all right, can we get it on, push the, you see there's a square, yeah, push that. There we go, now we got to run it.
Solidarity. Happy International Women's Day. PT Usha is a retired Indian track and field athlete. She has been associated with Indian athletics since 1979. She is often called the Queen of Indian track and field. Mary Kom was born on 24th November 1982 in Manipur. She is an Indian boxer, politician, and member of parliament. She has won awards like Padma Shri Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan, and Padma Shri. Mithali Raj is a 16-year-old cricketer who smashes an unbeaten 114 runs in her debut against Ireland. The Arjuna Award winner at 19, she made staggering 214 against England. Mithali is the highest run getter in the world with 6,190 ODI runs. Saina Nehwal is an Indian female badminton player who was born on 17th March 1990 at Hisar in Haryana. She is right-handed badminton player. She has won awards like Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna, Padma Bhushan and Padma Shri. PV Sandhu is an Indian professional badminton player. She made her international debut in 2009. She rose to a career high ranking of number 2 in April 2017. She was born in Hyderabad. Rani Rampal is an Indian field hockey player. At the age of 15, she was the youngest player in the national team which participated in the 2010 World Cup. She is currently the captain for Indian women's hockey team. She is from Shabad, Haryana.
Okay, thank you. I found that, and it was yesterday, it was on already. So I wanted to share that with you. If you would be kind enough to go to the last slide, because I've got one more short video for you that I hope you find inspirational.
I will.
I don't see it, but I hope you do.
I will. I will never give up. I will fight for change. I will move mountains. I will get up again. I will. I will. We will.
Okay, well, at any rate, I unfortunately wasn't able to see it, but I hope you did. If not, when Dr. Usha shares the PowerPoint, push it, and then you can watch it. I thank you very much for allowing me this opportunity. And I turn it back over to Dr. Usha.
Thank you so much. It was indeed, darling, I can't see you. Is there any problem? Hi, darling.
Yeah, I'm seeing my.
We can't see you. I think she'll come in again. She'll come back. Okay. So it's been such a wonderful session, darling. And video, could you see the video? Claudia, did you see the video?
No, unfortunately, I can see the video.
You could see. I think most of them could not see the
Exodus.
video, Pranish. The video could not be seen. That's true. Many of them could not see the video. So anyway, we are. Yeah, it's good.
Oh, the first one, not the last. The last one.
The
was-
last one, I don't know. It's okay. I mean, now there was some problem with the Darlene. She's coming back, but let's see whether Darlene is able to get back to. Darlene, some problem with Darlene, I think. Yes, she's coming. Darlene is coming in. I'll share the next video with you for the participants. Darlene is coming. She'll be rejoining as a panelist. I've given her this. I've included not. You can't see her.
She will come back.
Again, she's gone out. Some problem. Hi, Darlene. Can you
Okay. Yeah, for some reason, I apologize, but I have no idea. We've got beautiful weather outside, but now
We can hear you, but we can't see your video. Can you just see the video?
Yeah, I've
No,
got
we can take
the,
this.
for some reason, the video, wait.
Okay, so I think I can start off with,
Yeah.
there were a lot of kind of questions because I had asked them to put in questions. There were questions like, I think one is, this may not be proper because there were certain questions.
Okay, can you see me now?
I'll just put in, yeah, I think,
Claudia says yes.
yeah, hi, we can see you. I'm just looking for the questions. It is very informative, very interactive sessions. And so I think there were many who had put in, I don't know whether they didn't have time to put in questions. There were some which was asked with one question, but please to put in names when you write it, so it's easy to ask for the questions. Is it okay to do physical activity during menstrual period, menstruation?
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
Oh.
physical activity कर सकते हैं, madam ये बता रही थी. Some players take pills to stop menstruation and they have a competition. So what did you say about this?
The question was, what again?
Ma'am, there are some who take to delay the menstrual cycle.
yeah.
So they some of them take the medicine. So do you advocate that?
This is Kluka's uneducated statement. I am not the exercise physiologist as Dr. Usha is, but it seems to me, just from a common sense perspective, that to delay anything that is natural is not the best health remedy. And I hope that as you look about things, you look at the gymnast, Nadia Comaneci from Romania. She has a life story that you will not even believe. But they did delay her, this is under communism, they did delay her menstrual cycle. And you can tell that from one Olympic Games to the next Olympic Games. And she has had health problems throughout her life. And I think she is now maybe in her 50s. And so if you want to get more information about what has happened, if you look at that model as well as the East Germans prior to 1976, you will also see statements and data that pose that kind of delay to not be terribly helpful. Dr. Usha, do you have other comments about that?
Yes, no, what you said is correct. So I think as a we should not be promoting more of these again. But there are some who find it uncomfortable. Ma'am, I'll just take up some questions because this question, like, I want to know that after 50 years, can women take part in physical activity and exercise? By Mirza Kausar Jahan. After 50 years, do you think women should be recommended to take part in physical activity?
Absolutely. I'll just make one statement. This child is over 50. I'm not dead yet. Okay, so absolutely, physical activity throughout the lifespan is critically important. Matter of fact, the older you get, the more you need to keep moving.
Great. Ma'am, there's another question by Reshma Bangera and Asma Bisht, who was asked about safety for women, because when they get into physical activity, what should be the safety concern? But besides that, a number of our girls, they are the rural areas. So they have a problem with conveyance where they are unable to take in. So in such cases, what could be done? Because a country like India, where majority of the population would be in the rural sector. So what would you suggest in terms of such things? Because I think even though we are supposed to answer, but what do you suggest in that?
Beatrice, would you like to answer that question? I know you've done a lot of work in rural areas and with indigenous populations.
Well, the connection was not very good, but I understood about the rural areas and the indigenous people and how the program can reach them. Can you say it again?
Ma'am, like, most of them who are residing in the rural area, they if they have to go out, they need conveyance. At times, the conveyance is a problem. Transportation is a problem. So, how would the girls? How can you be involved these girls in physical activity? They don't have access to such sporting things.
No, well, it depends on the rural area. Some of the schools, some of the programs are good there, but some of the programs are not good. But I think the idea of sport and the traditional games that they have there, they should be emphasized in all directions. It's very important that they connect with their daily life to be more active. And many people say, well, but I walk, I have to walk to a long distance. But it's not only this, you have to have fun. And like Darlene said, you gave so many good games. The games is very important because the games connect people and give them another idea of what they are doing. It's not the everyday life, but and then you can start with the sports. I'm sure that they have some indigenous area, they have the volleyball because it's just a net or just something that put in have the ball or the football, soccer. And they love all of those games that they can enjoy and then they have more freedom. And also, many times, some of the games are forbidden for women. And that's something that they start changing. But you have to have the chief to say, okay, now we're going to make some little change and the girls can play also because they start, I want to play. And they say, no. In the past, you couldn't play. But now they have some kind of way of changing the rules and then they start playing. You can do many things, with the culture and also what is available there. But it's very important because physical education means to have fun and have to learn about that. Yeah.
Thank you, Beatrice. I think there are a lot of questions. I'll take it up later and send it to you, Darlene. Maybe, but we'll take up that later since we're already falling short of time. Is it okay if I can go with remarks, please? It was indeed such a wonderful session. A lot of questions. सारे participants को बोलना चाहती हूँ, मैं आपका कई जवाब का उत्तर दूंगी because they have been asking about amenorrhea, that is where the menses doesn't come in with the cycles. मैं आप लोगों को इसके बारे में जानकारी दे सकती हूँ, कई जानकारी मैं आपको दूंगी, बट हम लोग का मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, आप काफी प्रश्न पूछ रहे हैं. It's so nice to have you energetic and bubbling teachers. You're really indeed very smart. I think the first time you're receiving so much of questions, I think it's something great. डॉक्टर यूरी, हमारे जो डॉक्टर यूरी सर आते हैं, सर हमारे जो इंटरनेशनल एसोसिएशन ऑफ स्पोर्ट्स साइंस और फिजिकल एजुकेशन के प्रेसिडेंट हैं, सबसे जो टॉप मोस्ट बॉडी है. आप लोग का हम लोग बहुत लकी है कि हम जब भी बुलाते हैं आते हैं और ये हमारे पी प्रोग्राम में एक नई दिशा दिखाते हैं और हमको जो दुनिया के जो स्तर पे है वहां तक हमारी आवाज पहुंचा सकते हैं. सो डॉक्टर यूरी, फॉर योर रिमार्क्स प्लीज.
What can I say after such a wonderful presentation? I mean, really, I mean, Darlene knows the job. I mean, she's knowledgeable, she's a scientist, and she's a very practical woman. And she has experience from all field of physical activity, you know, as you have introduced her. And we could see it in the presentation, step by step, from the global perspective to the Indian field, from the girls to the women, and some practical ideas as to what can the physical education teachers, women teachers, do tomorrow morning, and that is what the batches are all about, isn't it? And so, thank you, Darlene, for sharing the knowledge. I have accumulated some of the content that you have presented, and I thank you very much for that. And you have done a great job in a very unique way, which is the Darlene way, which I appreciate so much. So we have still a lot to learn from you, and you have so much to share with practitioners and scientists. Thank you so much. And one question, Darlene.
Mm.
What is it? What is it that we have not done right?
Mm.
That girls and women are not actually participating in physical activity and sport? What is it that we have done wrong? Is it us, the people who are so deeply associated with this profession, or is it a failure to convince governments to come up with the right policy? And just to add to what you said, I don't think that the women in the world are 50%. I truly heard that there are 51%, which
Yes,
makes
that's true. But I didn't want to rub it in, you know.
so I give up. I give up. And I will do whatever I'm asked to do to promote physical activity for girls and women. I think this is of utmost importance. And the future will not look the same if girls and women are not coming to the field and participating as you know, in their lifespan in the physical activities.
Yeah, thank you for those kind words. And the thing that I love most about this webinar that we're doing, and Dr. Usha and all of your staff and colleagues, is I learned so much because we share. The interactions today were just fantastic. I wish we could put 5,000 people's pictures up, but
there were
it's not possible.
6,800.
Whoosha!
Unbelievable.
My goodness. Well, so we're very, very grateful. You know, the issues are not with our generation. Uri said this so well. The issues have come way back from when we were all running around naked, you know, as people before before the world started, or just about. And the challenge is for all of us to understand that just because we as women historically have taken care of children and house and all those things, if we were to put money to that, the cost would be unbelievable for the work that is done. And in the way things have developed outside of the house, there has not been a genuine valuing of what goes inside the house in order to make outside the house work. And I mean, that's very simplistic, but now finally places on earth are saying, if we get maternity leave or whatever from the job, then it could be the man or the woman who takes the leave to take care of the baby. And we've seen wonderful things happen when that occurs, but people have to be willing to do different jobs that maybe they haven't learned a lot about. But I do, for myself in this country, I see the 15 to 25-year-olds men beginning to change. And that's an exciting opportunity. At any rate, sorry, we could go on about these kinds of things for a long time, but there's no one single thing, unfortunately, that we could be doing better or differently. But if we see what the end point is, then every day we can make little improvements that will make the bigger change. We're very lucky on this webinar to have people on the screen who have been instrumental in having a position in the world that can make a difference. Okay, we don't always, but can make a difference. But it's no more important for us to make a difference in our position than it is for anyone who's teaching or community coaching. That is where the true change in people goes. And that's why I talk a lot about that global. How do we take what some of us now in our positions are doing here and making it work on other levels? So I have great respect for the, what did you say, 6.8 thousand that are involved with this. At any rate, and I think, Dr. Usha, you will also see from the chats the other areas that people are interested in for other maybe short webinars of some type. I'm very excited about this particular batch and all of the questions and so forth that people have had. So enough.
Thanks, Dr. Yuri, because Yuri is the one who promotes and who gives due respect and concern for women. That's something so special, because you're the one who always make it, you come in over here, and that must make a difference. So we all call it, come on, Yuri, come in. And then you're always there with us. That's, so that's how we just happen to call, because otherwise we would. And thank you so much, Dr. Yuri, for being with us. Madam Claudia, I'd like to introduce you, Madam Claudia is from Mexico, and you'll be having my Madam Claudia session too. Now for your remarks, please.
Thank you, Darlene. It's always a pleasure to listen to you, because I always learn something about you. You are like a guide to me, so thank you very much to invite me and be able to hear what Darlene has to say. One of the many reasons I enjoy the sport so much is because sports give us the opportunity to give our best, and because of the positive and encouraged atmosphere it offers to all women. In this case, women, the sport has helped us to have more confidence in ourselves, as well as to position ourselves better in the world, not only to show that we can do whatever sport we can do, it is because we can show that we can make wherever we can do. And this is an example. Usha, congratulations for the event again. You are also an inspiration to me. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Claudia. Indeed, I should tell the participants, most of you are asking of timing. Ma'am Claudia comes at 5 a.m. in the morning, which is unbelievable. And thank you so much, Claudia, for always being a part of this, even though our people speak of it. But I found this Darren coming at 4 a.m. and for you coming at 5 a.m. morning, it's something great. So thank you so much. And that's why I said you're a part of us. So we don't tell you as a guest, but you are a part of our family. That's great. Thank you. Madam Beatrice is a great anthropologist working a lot with indigenous people from Brazil. So, ma'am, for your remarks, please.
Oh, Darlene, thank you for your presentation. It's wonderful. You gave very important scientific information in pragmatic ways to make the change. Yes, we have to think that we, as a person, as a physical educators, as a person, a human being, we need this responsibility to make the change. But we need to remember that the changes are processed on social individual levels, what we call psychosocial levels. Sometimes the change takes a long time. That's why sometimes we want to give up, but we shouldn't. And sometimes because of the political and social barriers, especially for women. But many times go faster. I'm sure that now the pandemic in some ways helped the information reaching in many areas that it was very difficult to reach. And I'm sure that some of the changes are happening in India as consequence of the program, the Kelo program, organized by the Minister of India that we are attending now. I'm very pleased to see and be part of this change that is happening there. And your presentation showed the importance of having good education programs. That's something important. Create intergeneration leadership. That's something that we needed to see, that since when we are a child, we can connect with family and the old people. This intergeneration is so important, and family involvement. Many times the family can help, but sometimes a barrier. But we have different families. And then the enthusiasm of people who collaborate in the change. That's we needed to try to find them, to see who can help us, who can help the social change, and connect. That's important to be global. As you say, global is local and global, because that's a way that we can move on. And we offer, be sometimes discouraging, but we never should give up. Yes, thank you. And thank you for all of these opportunities.
Thanks, Dr. Beatrice. And I should say, Darlin is a great volleyball international in terms of volleyball. All are physically active. You happen to see, for the information of